This is a great day and a fun day when all your guys report. It's very different than it used to be because the freshmen are on campus and all the other guys are in school. So even though we haven't been around the guys for the summer, they've been here, they've been working out with Coach Madden and Coach Wiley. You get reports from them some of the great summer they've had, and that's encouraging. But it's not like the parents used to bring the freshmen in and everybody met them and walked them into the dorm, and our guys do have to move into the dorm from where they stay in the summer because it's a different place. But reporting day is much different than it was before they allowed freshmen to start coming in June. There are 4 guys that will not play this year. Trey Graham will take a medical scholarship because of his knee injury. Brock Fitzhenry, Patrick Nakapra, and Malcolm Williams have decided to forego their senior year and not play. Malcolm's got some family issues. I talked to him about it in the spring. He fought through them, and I talked to him this morning at 10 o'clock, and he's decided that he just needs to focus on his academics and his family and get those things back in order. And we appreciate all 3 of those young men. Trey's will still be here with us. Brock will be here with us. Patrick, they're all in school. They'll all finish their degrees this year and move forward, and we appreciate what they've done for us, and especially Malcolm. The other 105 are here. All of them have been released to practice. And as I said, it sounds like they've had a great summer, and with the heat, it's really critical that the guys have worked hard and are in great shape because it's really dangerous out there. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the coach that died yesterday in Plano, and sounds like there were 2 young high school student athletes that died in Georgia yesterday. So we're all going to have to take extreme caution with this heat because I've never seen anything like it. I think the most of the guys that you know that were out there at the start of the spring game are the guys that Stacy knows the most about. So it hadn't changed very much. We've still got to figure out, excuse me, the tackle situation. I do think that David Snow and Mason Walters and Trey Hopkins are pretty well set as guys who have experience and have played at the center and 2 guard spots. And then the tackles, you want Luke Pellman to get in that mix. So he'll be good. You'll look at some of the freshmen. You've got Mark Buchanan, who's played guard or tackle. You'll look at him as well. Peyton Kelly's played out there. And I think one of the biggest things Stacy wants to see is who's improved over the summer. You had David Snow had mono in spring practice, so it was hard for him to compete as hard and let Stacy see as the good things about David that we all know. Trey Allen had not played for a year, so he had some conditioning issues working back in. He was heavier. It'll be really interesting to see those guys tonight and see who looks good and who's had the great summer, and see if Luke Pellman is ready to go. See if Espinoza's shoulder's okay. And so there's a lot of those things. We haven't seen any of the 5 freshmen.
Would you consider moving Hopkins out to tackle as a last resort, or if you want to really keep him?
I think what we've got to do is evaluate. We'll put the best players at the best positions and try to get that done halfway through preseason camp, so we'll be able to get a good 2 weeks going into the game. Where are we ranked? I haven't seen it. I've been busy. 24? Boy, they got us high. That's way up there. I don't care. I think the only thing you want to do as a coach is be rated high enough that if you have a great team, you can get in the mix at the end. And some teams that are 24th that win all the games get up there. We're not in a position right now to talk about rankings at all. I think the way we finished is the way you start, and we finished poorly, so we're going to start low. And I can't tell you where we were rated last year. It was obviously too high. So.
You've had so much success at the defensive end over the last few years with guys like Kendall and Pacho and everybody else. Do you like what you have come back with Okafor and outside Jeff Coach?
I do. Alex last year didn't get an opportunity to do what he wanted to because he's so unselfish. We put him inside, and he just had to hang in there at 265 pounds playing defensive tackle, so it wasn't fair to him. He had a great spring. Jackson was playing great. I watched the Tech game the other day, and he just looked so good in the Tech game until he sprained his ankle, and then he wasn't effective the rest of the year. So those two guys, to me, should be powerful factors on the defensive side of the ball. Reggie Wilson came on, had the great spring game. Sounds like he's had an outstanding summer. So we think that. And then you've got to get Dravante Johnson stirred back up where he can and be a fourth. And then with Chris Whaley over there, it gives you a fifth. And then you got to look at Cedric Reed. So you've got 6 defensive ends with some chance to play, and 2 of them with experience. Reggie with some, and then you'd like for the Dravante with some, but that could be a stronghold for us, and we want it to be. And like we've been in the past, we will have a package of pass rushers out of defensive ends on 3rd and long, where we wouldn't have the big guys in the game.
Yeah, under regular circumstances, you're not putting the ends tackle.
Yes, we'd like to have the ability to have 2 inside players. You really need 4. So we've got to find 4 inside players that can play on the regular down and distance. And then in pass rushing, 2nd long, 3rd and long, you'd like to be able to have the ability to have a package where you have your quicker guys in there. The big guys don't like that, but it would be that way, we hope.
You touched on that yesterday about playing 22 in the first quarter. I think that's doable. I know he said a little bit about that issue.
Yeah. I think it's doable, but we got to find more tackles, and we got to get settled at corner. We can do it at linebacker. We can do it at end. We can do it at safety. As of today, we don't know who the corners are, and we don't know who the other defensive tackle is, so we sure don't know who the 3 other defensive tackles are. So I think that's what we have to get decided, just like I wasn't being trying to be cute with Randy, but we don't know who the offensive linemen are yet. I mean, we've got an idea, but we've got some hard work to do to figure that out.
Mack, Manny was talking yesterday that it's a hard defense for an offense to install against, and it's vice versa. When you talk about that, did you guys have to go basic at times just to give the offense a picture?
Yes, both offensive and defensive thoughts and philosophies are on the cutting edge, and they're rather complicated, or they look complicated, and there's a lot of movement with both. So there were times in the spring where we just took base offense and base defense and wanted to see who could play and not who would scheme. So we'd take 10 minutes of practice, 20 minutes of practice, and just say, let's run plays against each other without any shifting, without any motion, without any movement on defense, just to see who can take on a block, because we've got to go back and really work hard to improve our fundamentals. I think the biggest problem we had last year was turnover ratio, and you got to be fundamentally sound to make sure that you improve in that area, and that's what we've got to do. We were talking today about making sure that when that ball's on the ground, we get it, and it's hard to practice. It's hard to practice without getting people hurt. It's something that we did well 2 years ago when we played for the national championship. We did very poorly last year. We've got to protect the ball on offense. It's the same thing. Brian did bring in some really cool drills to put more emphasis on protecting the ball than we had in the past. So we did that with every player on the offensive side of the ball last year, every practice. So I think that's something that we've pushed and we've pressed, but I do like some of the drills he brought in. I think those are better, and Manny brought in some good ideas on defense.
When do you expect you will put out a depth chart? Will it be before last week?
We really haven't talked about it because we're so far off. We don't mind. I think we always put it out either the Friday before we go home or the Monday. I think we've put it out the Monday of the first game. Is what we've done in the past, isn't it, John? I think you all put out one before that, and you probably will again. But it's the least of our worries right now. We got to figure out how many players we've got, and one thing we've been successful with is what Manny said yesterday. We've played a lot of players, And we weren't able to do that last year. So we need to get back to that. We got to figure out who they are. And we're more concerned about a 2 deep than we are a starting lineup.
Do you feel like you're behind, or do you feel like you've got these 28 days and you can catch up?
Yeah, I feel like we are who we are. We're like we were in 08. We're like we were in 98. There's more questions, and we're where we are. We can catch up. We can do fine. I think everybody was shocked at the 08 season because everybody said there's no way we can stop the passing game with 2 safeties that have never played. One of them stayed 2 more years, and he's starting as a rookie with Seattle. So there's some surprises out there that we're not sure about right now. There's some guys that left spring that'll be better when they get back. I expect everybody to be better because of the competition, because of the new energy, because of the new ideas. And it's going to be a really fun preseason camp to try to figure all this out. That's what coaches do. That's our job.